Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8. Today I'm playing turn-based strategy game Rise Battle Lines. Game features both single-player skirmishes against the AI and also online matchmaking, or you can play hot seat on the same computer. It has the same map that you can see here in the background every time. There's no obstacles or anything to kind of change up the gameplay, so it really kind of involves kind of the same stuff, although the units change, as you'll see. And there is a tutorial to help you learn the game. So I'm going to do a game against the AI. I'll just pick the middle AI here. You can also see the hot seat mode there. So we'll start. First thing you have to do is each side gets 10 units, and it's randomly selected what the units are. And basically what you do is you take turns picking units. Now this would be an interesting mechanic if it wasn't very obvious that some units are better than other units. For example, the crossbowmen with 3 hit points and the longbowmen have 2 hit points, but you know, they basically do the same thing. So I found that the crossbowmen are better. Now, the crossbowman does attack later if they're the same distance from your general, and the longbowman can attack and move on the same turn if it only moves 1 hex. And that's kind of the only difference. Same thing with the axeman and the swordsman, although there's no difference. This one has a better attack rating than this one, although it has less hit points. So, I mean, there's some trade-offs, but it's not as drastic as it should be to make a huge difference in the game. Now, having random selection of units does make each game play a little bit differently, but really you're kind of deciding between using melee units, using these mounted knights, or going for ranged units. So I'm going to pick these crossbowmen here. And I'll do a longbowman on the other side. He grabbed the only axeman. So I'll grab a knight to go after this knight. And I'm going to try to do range stuff, I think.
Ready for orders.
Just grab them all.
Yes, my lord.
And then swordsman.
Ready for battle. Yes, my lord.
And then your little captain guy gets done automatically. So on each turn, what you do is you select a unit by left-clicking. If there is an enemy within range, you can left-click them to automatically aim towards them, no matter where they move, as long as they stay in range. Or you can right-click to move. So I'm going to move these guys kind of out. What is this? It's a longbowman. One of my primary complaints, actually, is sometimes it's hard to tell which side the units are on. Now, I didn't get any of these axemen on my team, but the axeman kind of hat is gray for the white team, which is kind of similar to the hat for the swordsman on the black team. And when all these units are close to each other, it's really, really difficult to tell who's on which team. So that's really kind of my complaint primarily with the interface. There's also no next unit button either. It looks like the game was kind of designed for mobile devices based on the fact that there's only one map and it's all, you know, left click, right click conventions, which really could have just been done with one button based on, you know, the context of where you're clicking. So we're going to do that there and move these guys up. You know, and you have to kind of keep track of where your units, which units have moved and which ones haven't moved. So I think that was everybody. And then what happens when you send the orders, it goes from the general out. So everything adjacent to the general moves first, and then it goes out from there. As you'll see, it kind of scroll through everybody as it goes. So the units that can move that are that distance from the knight, or from your general, do move as they move out here. So that kind of determines which order the units move in. Now, if they're the same distance, it follows this little, see, the attacks last, attacks fourth order. So that's the other thing you can do. So this guy is just outside of his range, so I cannot target him, even if he moves into my range on the next turn. So that's kind of the, you know, strategy in the game right there. It is pretty simplistic because there's only a handful of types of units, and you can really only move or attack. But this is basically strategy there. Now I know that this guy can attack one square out, so I actually kind of want to keep this guy away from him, but move that guy up. And this guy will move all the way up. So there's some strategy here in I can attack him. In, you know, moving guys where you want to move them. So I'll move this guy there. Let's move there. Move up one. Move here. That's good. The AI is just okay. I mean, I basically beat all the levels of AI my first attempt at playing against them. Maybe it was luck, or maybe it's just because I'm awesome. But the kind of main draw for the game is online multiplayer, where I played some online games as well. And these little colors underneath tell you how many hit points they have. If they are yellow, they have 2. If it's no color, they have 3. And if it's red, they have 1. So now I can start attacking. So that'll take away 1 hit point, probably. Let's see what I want to do. How many hit points do you have? You have 3, so I'll attack with 3. Just in case. And I'm going to leave this guy here, because I don't think he can't move and attack. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, because they can't attack me anyway, because I'm outside of range, so I'll just move all these guys up. And I'll do that, and I'll do that, and I'll do... Actually, this guy, I'll attack that guy. And then we'll move my general up 1. You know, kind of the reason why to keep your general close. Once your general dies, it like decreases everybody's health by 1. But the reason to keep them up is because it basically controls which units move when. Which can, you know, with this few number of units, decide the difference between winning and losing. Alright, so I think I took out 2 and he took out 1 of mine. Yep, double kill. Alright. That's everybody, so... Shoot, he's outside of range. He is not outside of range, so I think I might move him back 1. Because he can just attack there, so I'm going to move him back. Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And... can't attack, so I'm just going to move him up. I think I'm just going to keep him there. Again, like I said, when all these units are really close together, I wish it was way more obvious which team they're on. Because, you know, gray and black, there isn't that much of a difference between the two. You should have made the white basically white, you know, super obvious white. Alright. I'm not doing so hot in this one. Of course, the one that I record the video for. Alright, so, yeah, and he's still outside of his range. He's not, though. See, and you can't target anybody that's outside of your initial range, even if they move into your range during the turn. I think I'm just going to keep him there, to be honest. And I'd say I can't attack him because... so... Oh, I see he only has 1 hit point left. He has 2. I'll go after that guy. I think that's all I want to do. I'm going to keep this guy kind of up here. We'll see how it goes. This may be a little bit too aggressive bringing my general up right now, but that's alright. Yeah, he's down. He's down. Although my general's only 1 hit point away, so that's not good. Alright, so... target that guy. I need to get this guy out of here. I'm going to take that guy out. We'll see what happens. It might be pretty close. Did I forget about this guy? I think I might have. That's why I wish there was a next unit button. Alright. So he's got 1 left. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to move him up finally. That should be pretty good, I think. I'm just going to keep my general. I'm actually probably move him back here. Both those guys wiped out. There goes him, down one. And now he's dead, so they're in trouble now. So they have one unit left, so. Boom, boom. There we go. So, next turn I'll win this. Oh, nope, this turn. Forgot that that guy is too. There you go, that'll do it. You know, finish out your turn even though I won for some reason. Yeah, I know. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I'm awesome. Alright, there we go. That's Rise Battle Lines. You know, because of the kind of sameness of the units, the fact that there's only one map to play on, even with the randomization of the draft, which I think adds a little bit to the game, the fact that some units are pretty much obviously better than other units makes the draft kind of pointless, a little bit at least. You know, also in the draft, whoever chooses first gets a real advantage because they get, especially if there's like one of the really precious units you really want to get for your strategy, and there's no compensation for the person that plays second. The games are relatively quick. Online, it gives you 2 minutes per turn. I like how the units near the general get to act first. That adds kind of another layer of strategy as to keeping your general near your important units. Kind of, you know, abstractly models a morale system that is in other, you know, strategy games. But with the same map every time, and you know, the presentation's a little bit bare, where it's hard to tell which team it is. You know, a lot of the people on the white team actually have more grayish uniforms, and then the black team is a little bit lighter black than you'd like to see. There's no next unit button, so you can forget about units, which I might have done more than once during that game. But there is some interesting strategy in, you know, where to place your general, how to keep your units outside of enemy range, but within your range. The AI isn't great, but again, the game is really intended for online play. So while it's not a complete strategy game, it is something that might interest people for a really quick turn-based title. That's all I have for today. Until next time, bye now.